Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Before I go any further, the first thing I want to say is it is official that Al Haymon and the PBC series has completely taken over the sport of boxing. PBC is now the home and face of boxing on TV. At least 85% of the best fights that you guys are going to watch this year are going to be on PBC. Matter of fact, this month alone is total PBC domination because this is Boxing March Madness, where all of the fights this month are pretty much on PBC. From Edeslani Lara that we just watched, Sean Porter versus Ugas, and then we have this mega fight, Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence, or Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia. And the reason why I'm bringing all this up right now is because when I was watching this PBC fight camp, and before fight camp, I was watching the face-to-face. These are two shows that has once again replaced the HBO's 24/7 in their version of Face Off. And it's so ironic because Jim Lampley, when he had his show The Fight Game on HBO about 2 years ago, he went after Al Haymon, basically trying his best to discredit Al Haymon the same way he did with anyone on the coincidental list. Now keep in mind, Jim Lampley, he had never went after any HBO rival or any other promoter / advisor, if you will. But for whatever reason, he felt the need to go after Al Haymon with everything he had. And it backfired. About 2 years ago, Jim Lampley, he went on his show and he was telling people how PBC is failing, and within the next couple years, he would not be surprised if they're completely out of business. How crazy is it that you fast forward to present day, now PBC is the biggest boxing outlet in the sport today, and HBO Boxing are the ones that went out of business. Talk about karma, man, I'm telling you. So with that being said, guys, I just finished watching the first episode of PBC Fight Camp, and it was a good episode. We got to see Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia hanging with their family. There was a recap of their press conference, of course, them training. But I thought the most interesting part of the entire episode is when Team Spence, when they were actually revealing a little bit of strategy of how they're going to fight him or what they're preparing for. They were talking about preparing for Mikey Garcia's left hook. And then you had Mikey Garcia, or Robert Garcia, and his father. They were having a really interesting conversation where the father, Mikey Garcia's father and trainer, he was basically saying that he doesn't believe Errol Spence is stronger than him. And they are completely confident that Mikey Garcia is the more skillful fighter. It was an interesting conversation. I mean, it was pretty much expected going into this fight that Team Garcia would think that they have the edge when it comes to skill. But once again, it's surprising that they're coming up one weight class and they believe that they're just as strong as Errol Spence. And I say one weight class because remember, guys, Mikey has already fought at 140 twice, so he's not jumping up 2 weight classes. But I have told you guys, since this fight was signed, I told you guys that I truly believe Mikey Garcia, he is going to surprise Errol Spence with his power. I believe Mikey Garcia is a very strong fighter when it comes to power. Once again, remember, this is the guy that knocked down and cracked Maidana's ribs. This is the guy that Brandon Rios said was the hardest puncher he's actually sparred with. So there's no doubt about it, he has underrated power. So I don't really see that much of a disadvantage for Mikey Garcia in this fight. This is nowhere near a mismatch. This is nowhere near a mismatch. I think there's a very good chance this could be Errol Spence's toughest fight. I really believe that. Now, just because I say this is Errol Spence's toughest fight, it doesn't mean the fight won't end in a knockout. I still give the edge to Errol Spence. I still believe he's going to win this fight. But that doesn't mean it won't be his toughest fight. When Errol Spence, when he fought against Kell Brook, or way before he fought against Kell Brook, I told you guys I believe that Kell Brook would be Errol Spence's most difficult fight. I picked Errol Spence to win, but I always thought that Kell Brook was going to be the most difficult fight for Errol Spence at the welterweight division compared to all the other welterweights. And when you watch that fight, it was proven. Gilbrook, he showed tremendous skill. He gave Errol Spence all that he could pretty much handle in the first half of that fight until Errol Spence took over. And I kind of see this fight playing out the same way. But because of Mikey Garcia's accuracy and his precision, I would not be surprised if we see both fighters get hurt in this fight. This is going to be a great fight, guys. This is going to be a great fight. I mean, for anyone to say it doesn't mean anything if Errol Spence wins this fight because Mikey Garcia is smaller, that's BS. Because there's a lot of pride involved in this fight. Because even when fans say Mikey Garcia, he's the underdog and Errol Spence is supposed to win this fight, but do you think the fans are going to feel that way? You think the fans are going to get over this just that easy if Mikey Garcia were to lose? No. This is a type of fight where a lot of emotion is going to be invested into it. And correction, when I said fans, I was talking about Mikey Garcia fans if Mikey Garcia were to lose. But there's a good chance that Mikey Garcia can pull off the upset. Like I said, I don't really see this as a mismatch. I don't. I believe this is a very difficult fight for Errol Spence. In fact, this fight may be more difficult than a Keith Thurman or a Sean Porter fight would be. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes down, guys. March 16th. I'm going to wrap this video up. Hey guys, I put the link in the description box so you guys can watch the first episode. Make sure you guys subscribe to this guy's channel and share the link. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.